Okay, it's all set. Guess everything is okay apparently. Shall we start? Alright, never mind. Let's skip the introduction and hello everyone, and this is Kenzie Wonderdrift, and I'm here broadcasting today's Epicenter XL Open Qualifiers. It's the week number 3, it's the third week of this tournament. And for those of you who want to know the rules of this tournament, it's simple. So, teams from around the world in different regions will compete. And whoever gets the top spot in each of those open qualifiers will secure a spot in the closed qualifiers, and from then on, in those closed qualifiers, the top ranking teams from each of the divisions will have a ticket to land in Moscow. So let's look at these two teams. We have Wise Monkeys versus Vanguards. And of course, let's introduce the players for both teams. For Wise Monkeys, we have Hajadlo, Bombad, Kraydota, Wingblade, and Deus. And for Vanguards, you have Phantom, 8X Zone, Reality, Rise, and P-God. And let's look at the lineups for both teams. Let's look at the bans for both teams. Wise Monkeys banning two potential roam heroes, namely the Sand King and the Bounty Hunter. They're obviously going to try to protect their mid lane heroes, no doubt about that. And certainly, they do not like to give Vanguard that sort of vision advantage. And the Clockwork is banned as well because he provides some sort of nuisance in terms of spacing, especially in the choke points. And Wise Monkeys would certainly like to capitalize on going through those choke points in order for them to initiate effectively. Now for Vanguards, let's look at the bans. Two potential disruptors, namely the Bane and the Naga Siren. Of course, you do not like to get caught by that Song of the Siren and the Bane's Fiend's Creep combination, and certainly when they rotate around the map, they can start an initiation play if you're Wise Monkeys. Of course, Lycan provides a sort of, extra pushing prowess as well. And then the Disruptor, the sort of hero that negates your mobility. So Wise Monkeys might go for a mobile-esque lineup here. Of course, the Tusk is like one of those candidates for mobility, obviously with a snowball. You can even escape all because of those ice shards. And then if you look at the picks for Wise Monkeys, let's see, Tiny and Tusk. So of course they have some sort of AoE damage with the Tiny as well. Tiny could be deployed as a hard carry or a mid lane hero, and the sort of pressure he provides in the mid lane is actually devastating, especially when he gets a tree. And Tusk, who is currently one of the most popular position 4 heroes in Dota, even the most popular rotational heroes. And it's understandable why. He provides that sort of... He likes those choke points, no doubt about that, especially when those ice shards are timed and positioned perfectly, then there's no way for you to escape. So if you're Vanguard, you certainly would like to pick a sort of mid lane hero or an off lane hero that really provides a high degree of agility or mobility. Now Wise Monkeys, next bans on their list, Underlord and Omni Knight. Underlord providing the sort of escape option as well as lockdown potential, as seen when Team Newbie has just obliterated Evil Geniuses. Not Evil Geniuses, but Team Liquid and Mineski in their recent skirmishes. And boy, that Underlord by Newbie was just epic. And of course, Wise Monkeys, certainly, they've seen how Team Newbie has maximized on that Underlord, and they'd certainly say, no, we do not like to be caught in the middle of no man's land, so yes, we're going to ban him out. Then Omni Knight ban as well. The Omni Knight ban does make sense, especially when you have that Terror Blade at Vanguards. That sort of sustainability that it's going to bring into the picture. It's going to be nightmarish for Wise Monkeys. Vanguards, on the other hand, have banned the Death Prophet, sort of hero that provides a sort of additional damage and could even nuke out the Terror Blade, especially if he gets silenced and stunned, and then when that ultimate is set there by the Death Prophet. Now, Winter Wyvern is deployed in the battlefield for Wise Monkeys. Certainly a sort of hero that is an alternative for the Omni Knight in terms of providing sustainability, as Shadow Fiend is already deployed in the battlefield, a sort of nuke damage, and a perfect partner in crime with the Terror Blade. If you look at this approach here for both teams, yeah, you do have some potential initial lockdown from you have the Winter Wyvern to do that, as well as the Tusk. And then for Vanguards, you have the Shadow Shaman, and then you could nuke it up with the Shadow Fiend and even the Terror Blade. Now, my concern with Vanguards is that they've already revealed two of their carry heroes, Terror Blade and Shadow Fiend. So if you're Wise Monkeys, you already know that, alright, they've already deployed their mid laner and hard carry, and you'll be like, oh, we're going to provide that sort of countermeasures. I mean, Terrorblade is prone to stunning abilities, and I think that Tiny and Tusk are really perfect, and the Winter Wyvern would even potentially negate the Terrorblade's Sunder ability. So yeah, Wise Monkeys, in my opinion, I think they have the upper hand. And if you're Vanguards, you do have the Shadow Shaman as a sort of counter initiation, but you need more than that, than just the Shadow Shaman. Yeah, I think you also need to time your abilities well, and that's going to be a question for concern for Vanguards, is if they can time their abilities well, as Conka and Queen of Pain have been deployed respectively. Yeah, I mean, the Conka is also a good pick-off hero as well. It also negates the sort of mobility on the Queen of Pain. So it's understandable why Vanguards goes for the Conka, knowing that the Queen of Pain could just blink in and blink out, and when he blinks out, you get caught by the X marks the spot. Obviously, you need fast reflexes for that. And also works, and of course, that Conka pick would definitely be a potential damage dealer. I mean, the Conka, with that passive skill, you know, he could do some AoE damage as well. And then if you could time the both, well, then you'd be definitely having a fun time. Like, you need some sort of hero like, I'm thinking that Vanguard's final pick is going to be the Magnus, because you need that RP combination, which bodes well with the Conka or the Faceless Void. Because Conka, without those sort of heroes, he'll definitely struggle. Unless, of course, if that's mid-1 playing as a Conka, but we'll see. Alright, let's see what Wise Monkeys are gonna remove from the battlefield. Let's see. Queen of Pain, yes, does provide a sort of burst damage. A very good matchup against a Shadow Fiend in the mid lane. Because of the fact that Shadow Fiend, yeah, doesn't have mobility, whereas Queen of Pain has mobility. Now it's up to whoever is going to play the Queen of Pain, is if he or she is up to the task of dodging all those raises. And Wise Monkey banning the Brewmaster, it makes sense because of the fact that the Brewmaster is a sort of hero that provides a sort of team play prowess for the side of Vanguards. I mean, they could go on the offensive when that ultimate is set, and the fact that they got sustainability from the Terrorblade, and then add the fact that Brewmaster could add some punishing damage if he gets constantly farmed. So if you're Wise Monkeys, you do have to ban that. Now, Vanguards in return ban the Monkey King. And we've seen how Monkey King negates the sort of roaming potential in most Dota 2 tournaments as well. And of course, he provides a sort of vision advantage. Actually, I was expecting Wise Monkeys to ban, you know, the Magnus, because it complements with the Conka or Faceless Void, but so far they opted for Brewmaster. Also makes sense as well, as Abaddon, not the most common offlane hero you'd see in the Dota 2, but, well, of course, it adds some additional sustainability for Vanguards. Yeah, of course, Shadow Fiend is very squishy, and of course you do need that Aphotic Shield as a sort of insurance policy if ever the Shadow Fiend couldn't contain the Queen of Pain. So let's see what Wise Monkeys has to offer here. I mean, Abaddon was picked because obviously the Omni Knight was banned, and Omni Knight provides a sort of AoE sustain. It's something Abaddon isn't capable of. So yeah, I think Vanguards are really left in a no-choice situation. Pick their poison, they pick the Abaddon. Now, Wise Monkeys, final pick, let's see. Definitely they need a right-click hero, although Tiny could be a right-click hero. Or a potential offlane. Tusk could also be an offlane. Although we've seen Tusk as position 4, or maybe Tiny at position 4, which is very unorthodox as Faceless Void is deployed in the battlefield. Of course, I mean, when you have the Faceless Void, the question is, like, how do you time your ultimate well? Because, yeah, I think Faceless Void is really good if you want to lock down the Shadow Fiend, because you don't want the Shadow Fiend to start nuking you up. And of course, it would be good if you get the Shadow Fiend and the Shadow Shaman. Because Shadow Shaman, it could be that sort of counter initiation for Vanguards. So of course, in my opinion, if you ask me who's going to win in this sort of assault, it's a bit tricky. Actually, I think Vanguards will have the upper edge in here, because the fact is you got the Terrorblade who can really survive. Of course, you have nuke damage from the Queen of Pain and the Faceless Void. But the fact is that they could easily counter that. I mean, you have heroes like, of course, Shadow Shaman, who could potentially disrupt the Faceless Void. And then if ever Abaddon gets caught by that Chronosphere, obviously he's going to be well protected because of his ultimate. So yeah, I'm going for Vanguard with this one. Some of you might say, well, you might go for WM to win this. Well, we'll see. Alright, so let's introduce the lineups for both teams. For WM, we have Deus as a Tusk, Kira Dota as a Tiny, Wingblade as a Faceless Void, Bombad as a Queen of Pain, and Hajadlo as a Winter Wyvern. As for the side of Vanguard, you have P-God as a Terrorblade, Reality actually as a Terrorblade, and then P-God as a Shadow Fiend. That leaves 8X Zone as the Abaddon, Rise as a Shadow Shaman, and Phantom as a Kunkka. Alright, so let's just discuss just a bit of a pause in this game, some connection issues. So, what you guys think in the Twitch chat? I'd like to hear your opinion, like who's going to win and who's going to lose. Alright, so while we're waiting, I think things are going to be quite smooth right now. So obviously we have Bombad at mid lane against P-God at mid lane. So of course it's new. These are potential nukers, no doubt about that. One has the edge in mobility, but that could easily be countered by, like what I said earlier in the draft phase, the Kunkka. Then you could initiate fights with the Tusk, and you could even close down those choke points. Of course, you want to protect yourself from the choke points, and Kunkka is a hero that could do that. If ever you get caught in the shards and then you're stuck in a little street where there's no option for escape, then that's where the Kunkka unleashes the boat as a sort of insurance policy. It could happen. Of course, it would bode well with the Shadow Shaman if he could just hex and shackle someone. A good combination, these two, Shadow Shaman and a Kunkka. So while we're going to wait for someone, let's see, Winter Wyvern. Yeah, he could be that clutch maker. But if you look at it, you have the Shadow Fiend and the Terrorblade. And these heroes, they love to get these right-click items, as well as the Kunkka. So a single ultimate or Winter's Curse could be a game changer, especially if these two are going to bolster up their item list. Actually, I'm beginning to change my opinion. I think WM's chances are going to be way better because of this Winter Wyvern pick, especially if these two get the necessary right-click items. So, oh, everyone's ready? Okay, I'm going to change my pick. I'm going to go for WM. I'm not going to go for Vanguards. I mean, of course, they have some strong AoE potential here with the Tiny and the Queen of Pain. As we're going to wait for the last guy. And of course, they could initiate fights well with the Faceless Void, even with a Tusk. Okay, so we're going to wait and wait and wait, and let's see. Alright, I think Tiny's going to go carry, no doubt about that. I mean, yesterday I've seen Mineski go for Faceless Void carry, which we don't normally see unless we go back to the Dota 1 days. But in this case, we're not going to see it. I think we're going to see Void as deployed at the off lane, Tiny at the card carry, no doubt. Of course, these two supports in here. As we're going to wait for another second, or maybe a second is gone. But of course, let's look at the other lineup. Terrorblade going to go in the top lane, no doubt. Now, if you're Vanguards, if you want to get your Terrorblade and your Shadow Fiend in a constant farming prowess, you certainly need to rotate. I mean, yeah, they could rotate, early in the game, especially when you have that Shadow Fiend and that Shadow Shaman and that Kunkka. Although it could easily be countered by the sort of by Tusk as well. I mean, Tusk is like one of those heroes with that snowball and then with the sigil to slow the opposition down in the offense. Then you have the Winter Wyvern. So here's the thing: Vanguard can rotate, yes, but it's going to be tricky, especially when you have that Winter Wyvern who could activate that Cold Embrace if ever things get really bad, and then there's a Winter's Curse. And add the fact that the Queen of Pain, especially when he gets that Haste Rune, the fact that she's very mobile could be that sort of countermeasure for WM. So let's see, we're going to wait for for someone from Wise Monkeys or for Vanguards. So other question marks that we could, or other things we could look at. Let's see. Obviously, Abaddon is going to be very crucial. I wouldn't be surprised if Abaddon rotates, if ever the Shadow Fiend's going to get pressed on, because it's really going to be possible that Shadow Fiend's going to be pressured, especially knowing that the matchup in the mid lane may not seem to be at his favor, depending on the skill set of Bombard. So Kira Dota going into top lane. I don't know. Well, normally we see a Tiny at the bottom lane when he's deployed at carry, but in this case he's going to go in the off lane spot. Very unorthodox, but interesting. It's going to put Void at the carry then. Of course, with Jodlo there as a Winter Wyvern. I mean, Void is very squishy, especially early in the game. Now, if your Void is going to be a hard carry, he needs to get the right-click items immediately. Like the Fusel Blade, yes, you do need that. And if possible, a Desolator. Because Void, you know, if he gets that Chronosphere activated, and you want to get some right-click damage to complement that Chronosphere, you certainly need those right-click damages immediately. Okay, let's see, are we going to see some potential smoke ganks, as Reality is just stalking through this in the bounty area as well. But he has some insurance policy if ever things get a bit ugly. So no aggressive smoke ganks yet, or perhaps you might see some little bit of aggression, but no, it's not going to happen yet. 13 seconds left before the sun rises, and let's see. Okay, so no aggression from both teams. It's just going to be safe or wait. We're going to see an Abaddon and P-God trying to knock into the doorstep, but no, Wingblade secures it. So very safe for both teams. No risky plays yet. Alright, so you got Rise together with Reality in the top lane against Kira Dota as a Tiny. Mid lane, Bombadil against Deus. That's a bit, and then in the opposition, you have Vanguards and Phantom. So no doubt about that, Phantom and Deus will be roaming support. Bottom lane, we have 8X, who's pulling the creeps into his favor, and Wingblade, who's no choice but to watch. Gonna get caught in the middle there. Actually, I like this approach here by Deus and Bombadil. They know that the Shadow Fiend doesn't have mobility, and they might even capitalize on that. Deus could slow down the Shadow Fiend. And of course, you have that poison damage, and that's why Phantom is there in the mid lane, because he knows that the Shadow Fiend is very prone to this sort of combination. Oh, there's a shards, and the Shadow Fiend is trapped in there. He's forced to activate the teleportation scroll. Will he go down? No, he doesn't. Oh, he's actually TP'd through the tier 1 tower. Definitely, he needs to farm up. It's understandable why he went to the tier 1 tower instead of going back to the base. It's a very smart move by the Shadow Fiend, buying a town portal scroll very early, knowing that this sort of pressure is going to come and happen. Because Deus is, like what I said, there's no way you could run away, especially when he gets those Ice Shards out, as the Shadow Shaman Rise have decided to pause the game. Alright, the unpause is set, and let's go back in the middle of action. Oh, there's a shards and God, and now God is not going to live through this, especially with the block by Bombadil and the creeps. There's a torrent activated, the raise is there, the snowball's there. No, it doesn't work. Oh, that's a good kill there, and P-God. Now Phantom is next on the list, though. Question is, will he run away? Certainly, the Shadow Fiend not in a good spot in the mid lane. Yes, that's what I said, the mobility of the Queen of Pain. And right now, Phantom is going to get pressured on. And if this mid lane wars is constantly in favor of WM, if it carries on, then Vanguard is going to be in a lot of trouble, because they have to rely on the Shadow Fiend to get those right-click items, especially when you're dealing with a sort of hero like the Faceless Boy. Right now, there's a torrent and X marks the spot. This could be the revenge kill, Bombadil, but Bombadil blinks out of the danger zone. Well protected there. That's what you want to see. I mean, the Queen of Pain, those reflexes are very crucial. The Shadow Fiend is a sort of right-click, devastating blow. Now, Wingblade here. Now you got some support here from Hajadlo. Now, 8X was actually a nuisance early in the game. You know, he just pulled the creeps. It's a very smart strategy, because One, you know that you're not in a good spot as right now Phantom gets rolled in by a... Oh dear, this is not looking good for P-God. P-God, one more hit, he goes down in there. Phantom might be next on the list. No Poison Dagger yet. Although, of course, Kunkka is lucky to survive in there. But P-God, 2 deaths in a row. And that is not a good sign for your mid laner. And it's already been 3 minutes and your Shadow Fiend is dead twice. Yeah, it's a smart pick off there by Wise Monkeys. Yeah, the name does speak for itself as right now P-God surrounded there by the shards there. There's a snowball activated. Torrent as a sort of countermeasure. And now Deus might go sacrifice his life. He goes down. Goodbye there. And P-God with the revenge kill. That's very important for P-God because he needs to constantly get these kills. Because if you look at the sort of the statistics, P-God is currently he's way behind, although he could still catch up to Bombadil. Now Kiradota here. This is a very interesting situation. Now he might get a kill on the Shadow Shaman. He does get a kill on the Shadow Shaman. Of course, remember, this is still a level 4 Terrorblade. It's not yet a level 6, so of course it explains why, if you look at Kiradota, he goes on the aggression, knowing that his damage is quite extraordinary. The toss and the avalanche, if he activates it at ease, he's going to have an easy time. Now P-God gets caught by the snowball in the shards. Now Bombadil might go on the offensive, but remember, Phantom is there as an insurance policy. He certainly would not like to encounter that. Now, of course, let's see. Kiradota has a bottle early in the game, and let's see what Bombadil has. He has a bottle and 2 null talismans, all because of the fact that she was able to get 2 crucial kills against a Shadow Fiend. Certainly he's gonna enjoy that. Oh, Wingblade. Oh, look at that stun there on 8x. 8x, can he run away? Does he have an Aphotic Shield to keep him alive? He's slowed down there. One more hit. Oh, he does have the Aphotic Shield. Well secured. Now, what does Deus have to offer here? It's very... Oh, he's gonna go in a rotation play, and now Bombadil. I'm not sure if P-God is aware of this. Oh, Wingblade gets a kill on 8x out of nowhere. Of course, 8x has little HP now. Oh, look at this. Who gets caught in there? Bombadil can blink out. Of course, he does blink out. Now, Deus. It's not a good spot for Deus. He's got caught by the X marks the spot. But he dodges the X marks the spot by turning off with the snowball in. Even the turret, he dodges out. Oh, that was clutch there by Deus. Timed his snowball well so that he won't get caught by the X. And I think this is a pretty good spot for Wise Monkeys. The fact that you have a skilled Tusk player who could evade into that Kunkka blows. The fact that your mid laner is actually having the best day of his life against his rival. Now Tiny is going to get pressured on by Reality. Oh, their avalanche set to make sure that things don't get disastrous. Now 8x zone. He's not going to enjoy this because that's 3-on-1. And certainly the Aphotic Shield might not be able to help. Will he go down? One more Aphotic Shield. Oh, of course, he has a magic wand, but then of course, if you look at Wise Monkeys, they're a bit cautious. They don't have vision here, and certainly they want to make sure that the Shadow Fiend is not in that spot. As right now, Phantom is there. There's a Torrent. He's going to teleport out. Oh, Bombadil escapes. Oh, Phantom escapes as well. Even in the nick of time, in the moment of death, he goes and lives. Now 8x not in a good spot, all by himself. Aphotic shields himself. Let's look at the last hit in the nice. 8x is currently 17-1. His rival Wingblade is 34-6. Not a good spot for him. Well, obviously offlane heroes tend to struggle, but if your offlane hero farms really good, then we can say that's a really talented offlane hero. Even without the supports, if he can farm efficiently. Because if you look at the offlane wars, 8x is certainly above Kiradota. But so far, if you look at it, Wingblade has managed to get 1 kill on 8x. Now both of these heroes are already level 6. Now Kiradota on the other hand has the upper hand because of the fact that he's never killed yet, although his HP is relatively low, but he's still under leveled. I mean, he's all by himself there in the top lane. The pressure here from Reality and from Rise is just slowly made sure that the Tiny does not level up fastest right now. Phantom gets caught, blinked in by Bombadil. Now will that Poison Dagger do damage? No, it doesn't. Though you have some backup options if needed. It's not going to be enough though. 8x versus Wingblade 1-on-1. Aphotic Shield activated, no mana. But of course that borrowed time could be a potential devastating blow if things get a bit out of hand. We're obviously Tiny here, and we see some men from Vanguards. They're just hiding through this bounty area. Of course, no vision for both teams, but a smoke gang is set here. We could see a potential devastating blow. It's going to be very interesting, especially who's going to get caught. Oh dear, let's see. Loving this, of course. They don't have vision, but of course the invisibility does make up for that. Vanguards obviously has no vision in this area. If you look at their ward, there's only one observer ward in that area. Now Deus turned invisible, and Vanguard's very intelligent. They know that something's fishy, but Phantom doesn't know what's happening, so he's got in there. He activates a torrent. It's not going to protect him. He goes down. Now 8x forced to teleport in. It's going to be too late. Deus gets pressured on, but of course, oh, the Shadow Fiend is doing it. P God out of nowhere, who's turned into a critter there. It's, of course, the poor Tusk. And that was a good initiation play by Wise Monkeys on Phantom, but the problem is their positioning was really bad. Deus tried to escape in here. He doesn't know that there was a Shadow Fiend stalking out the creeps, but Bombadil knows it, and look what he's doing. The poison damage instead. He sends in some screens and a sonic wave, and P-God is dead. And that's what you want to see. Bombadil knows that something's fishy. Like, how on earth did a Shadow Fiend come in this area, killing my teammate? Well, now I know the answer. He's just farming here, and when things get a bit fishy, that's when he starts in to go on the offense. So far, it's still a good game for Wise Monkeys, but so far, Vanguards has proven they're not a team to be trifled with, nor you can just easily sit on us because we've shown some sort of glimpses of potential blows. Okay, so Reality, let's see his item list. 9 minutes. Gonna go for an Ogre Axe, and yeah, he's gonna certainly focus on maximizing his overall agility, no doubt. Provide some additional damage if needed. I'm quite curious. You might go for BKB or some Manta Style. Those are two normally deployed items when you're playing as Terrorblade. And Shadow Fiend, well, he's not focusing on a bottle. He's going to go for a Drum of Endurance. He needs a Drum of Endurance because, one, it's a good initiation item. Two, it's a good way to escape as well. As right now, this is not looking good for Hajadlo. He's surrounded by Reality. And of course, you have Abaddon with that third skill to make sure you don't run away. I mean, who could potentially... Oh, but right now, let's see. 8x zone. Oh, you know, he's going to go down anytime. But P got sort of the backup option here. There's a snowball activated. Now Rise. But Cole, Rise with the counter shackles there. And P God is going to have an easy raise. He might even get a kill in Deus. He does get a kill in Deus. Wingblade forced to retreat in there. X marks the spot, and the timing is perfect. Oh, Wingblade is not going to enjoy through that. He was caught in there by the X marks the spot. Even if he teleported out, will he juke this out, though? He does juke it out. Oh my, the time walk in the middle of no man's land. Oh, he even dodged everything in there. Right now, Hajaldo being slowed down by the sort of illusion army caused by Reality. Now, let's check his item list. Okay, so he's going to go for a Dragon Lance. Yeah, it gives him additional strength and agility. Gives him more HP as well. Damage. He might, let's see, Dragon Lance. Hurricane Pike, I guess? No, he's not. He's going to go for a Yash. A Yash and Ultimate Orb. So he's going to go for a Manta Style. So that gives him more pushing progress. Because if you look at it, yeah, Vanguard might be devastated by these team fights from Wise Monkeys, because if you look at it, there's some AoE potential, and the fact is that Bombadil is just pressuring on the lanes. So you want to have some sort of countermeasure, and the best countermeasure, as in most Dota 2 matches, is a split push strategy, which what I'm seeing from Reality. He's certainly going to go for a Manta Style to create space for his team to farm. Now, Wingblade nearly caught it there in the bottom lane. Of course, the thing is that everyone in the side of Vanguard is just focusing on the bottom lane, that it's actually giving Bombadil space here in the mid lane. And it's not a good sign though. I mean, yeah, you do have to take objectives, but of course you're giving the opponents free time needed. Just look at the... Oh, actually no, P-God, who was getting all those creep kills, I mean, he was jungling through, was able to, you know, keep his head up. And it's very important. Yeah, he does have... Oh, this is the Bombadil on the aggressive, but of course that Drum of Endurance will definitely be a good way to start a team fight. I mean, they could catch anyone out of surprise here. I mean, Wingblade is the perfect target to be caught by a surprise approach, because of course that Chronosphere could be a devastating deal breaker. Now Hajadlo, Wingblade, has seen eye to eye with Phantom. Wingblade, does he have his ultimate? He has his ultimate. I think he's going to save it. Oh, Bombadil out of nowhere. Welcome. And now Wingblade, he dodges it, but no, he gets hit by the boat in there, and he's not gonna... Okay, is he gonna live through that? Yes, he does live through that. Rise is caught, but Shackles is there. Now Reality, oh, he's gonna activate a Metamorphosis set. Oh, this is beautiful. But of course, someone gets killed in there, and it's not looking good, and the Winter's Curse activated. So it's a 2-on-2 trade-off for both teams, for Vanguard and Wise Monkeys. And Shadow Fiend, that's what I said. It's the Drum of Endurance that, you know, provides a sort of initiation play for the side of Vanguards. Yeah, I mean, with that Drum of Endurance, not only does it have some additional initiation setup, of course, with the additional move speed, but even adds some additional stats for the team. That's what's keeping them alive in that 5-on-5 assault. They're able to get a crucial kill there. The Bombadil's items, Veil of Discord, certainly a must-have. Oh, this is not looking good for Kira Dota. He was surrounded there by Rise, one of the best disabling heroes, a Shadow Shaman, and then he gets picked off there by Phantom. So I like what the strategies are. I like the approaches from both teams. I mean, yeah, we all thought that Wise Monkeys, you know, with that mid lane advantage was going to dominate. But the fact that P-God was just farming up through the jungle, he's created space for himself. Just look at his items. And look, he's just intimidating this Hajadol there. And look at that Drum of Endurance. Clutch there to dodge this Ice Shard trap. Boy, that's a really good item choice there for the side of P-God. So maybe P-God means Push God, I don't know. I mean, certainly he's having a, you know, I like his overall approach in this game. 87 is 6. I mean, the cores of Vanguards are getting the necessary items. Now, of course, there's always a Winter Curse problem. And that's one thing you like about what Wise Monkeys have been done. They chose this hero, the Winter Wyvern, because of that ultimate, which could be a sort of devastating blow on Vanguards. And you certainly would not like to encounter that. Okay, so we're going to wait for the pause at the moment. Let's do a quick item check for both teams. Wingblade, I'm interested. Battle Fury, and like what I said, if you're going to put Faceless Void at the hard carry, you need to get those right-click items instantly. Because it could really, it could make up for the lack of vitality on the side of the Faceless Void. Now Hajadlo, let's see, item check. He hasn't gotten his boots yet. The Reality's item list, Dragonlance, definitely Manta style. We have yet to see a Manta style. I'm curious what the Shadow Fiend has. Okay, Abaddon, Helm of Dominator. Might go for Satanic, though it's very expensive. I mean, yeah, you do need some additional pushing progress. Yeah, they are going to go for a split push here, because you have Abaddon with the Helm of Dominator, could control creeps. And then a potential Manta style here by the Terrorblade. Now P-God, he has a Blink Dagger, and with that He has a boots of travel. Now Hijado, he's not caught by the X marks the spot and the torrent. Well, 8X just charging in further forward. He slowed down that third skill from the abandoned X marks the spot again. And now we see a bolt, but he's well protected there. But will it be enough? No, the Shadow Fiend says no. As long as I have the days, there's no way you could even protect yourself. And boy, this Chain Frost armor here by this creep controlled by 8X is actually adding some more sustainability and tankiness on the side of Vanguard. So very smart play here by Vanguards. That gives him more pushing progress, and that could help them really in team fights, because you want to make sure that your team is alive, especially when that Winter Curse is activated on one of your teammates. And of course you have some right-click nightmares by this Shadow Fiend. And surprisingly, Shadow Fiend not focusing on right-click items because of the fact that the Winter's Curse is there. So he's forced to use items for defensive measures. Now the tier 3 tower is under siege. Yeah, the pushing lineup is really good. They have added sustainability. Really great. And now they're going to go into rotation. You know, they know that this is well defended. They've smoked up. They're going to go and try. They might get Roshan here. We'll see if they're going to go for Roshan. I mean, they do have vision to make sure that they're well safe when they're going to assault Roshan. Now let's see. On the other hand, let's look at Wise Monkeys. They have some burst damage that they could use. Tiny could, if he times this avalanche well together with that sonic wave, and remember, there's a Winter's Curse as well. So if you're Vanguards, you have to be cautious when you're going to approach Roshan. As right now, Faceless Void has paused the game. I mean, yes, they do have wards, which is good. They even have a sentry ward here. Yeah, they're well protected in killing the Roche Pit, but this Blink Dagger, oh, might be a sort of highlight reel material. Alright, so let's see. Interesting Roche battle happening. Oh no, Roche steal yet. Oh, gets caught by the X marks the spot. Hajad blow. He's not gonna enjoy that, especially when you're caught by the bullet. But the counter chronosphere activated by Wingblade together with the AoE damage and composition in air. This might be an absolute nightmare on Vanguard. It might go down, and P God is caught in there. Of course, Phantom as a sort of backup measure of Aegis popped out as well. 3 down on the side of Wise Monkeys and 2 down on the side of Vanguard. But of course, no, not 2 down because P God has Aegis with the Immortal. And Wingblade, that timing of the Chronosphere was perfect, but there's not enough damage though. I mean, yes, you do have magic damage, but you need more than just magic damage. You need all sorts of damage as Wingblade gets pressed on in there. He gets slowed down there. There's an X marks the spot as well. He might not be able to survive through that. There's a Winter's Curse to keep this teammate alive. But of course, 8X doesn't have some sort of right-click damage to kill his own teammate. Now there's an X marks the spot again unleashed. 8X uses a shield. Hajadlo, not in a good spot. He goes down. Boy, that was really good there. I mean, I thought it was looking like a disaster for Wise Monkeys, knowing that their Winter Wyvern was caught in the X. But yeah, it's still a disaster for Wise Monkeys. The fact that they've lost a lot of heroes in that Roche assault, and their timing was a bit off. I mean, yeah, their Winter Wyvern was caught, no doubt. The reason is because of this Observer Ward is the reason why the Kunkka was able to go for the X marks the spot. And that forces the entire Wise Monkeys to engage. Although if I were the rest of the team, I would back out, because certainly, yeah, you do have that Chronosphere and you have that sort of magic damage and avalanche toss ability. The thing is, you can't really go deeply forward, because once that Void activates that Chronosphere, the fact that this is a choke point, it's not easy for Wise Monkeys to charge in further forward. As right now, Deus gets slowed down. He's turned to a critter. There's the shackles. Easy food for P God. And with that double damage rune, he's going to have, yes, that's going to be easy. He's going to go for a BKB. And like what I said, it's this choke point here, that Chronosphere and this choke point, which prevented Wise Monkeys to charge in further forward. And Vanguard was just capitalizing on that. Okay, so let's do a quick item check here. Hajadlo, well, he's already cancelled out his Arcane Boots. Now Wingblade as a Battle Fury, gonna go for a Lincoln Sphere. Yeah, so he's gonna go for survivability items. So P God not focusing on right-click items because of the fact that the Winter's Curse is there. So I really like the strategy by Vanguard still. I mean, they were easily pressured in the first game. I mean, in the earlier stages of the game because of that the Queen of Pain mobility and the Deus slowing you down. But right now they say, oh, it doesn't really matter. We're going to break through your base and the tier 3 tower is going to be under assault. Look at that. That's so much pushing potential here on the side of Vanguards. Oh, Chronosphere on 3. Bombardil with an ultimate set. Oh, there's a shard and a snowball. It's going to find a target. P God is an additional target in there, but no, look at that sustainability on the side there. Requiem of Souls activated. P God gets a murderous kill on Deus. Now, of course, you can see here it's not looking pretty good here on the side of Wise Monkeys. They thought they had the advantage, though, but it's a smart move there by the Shadow Fiend to back off a bit. And the fact is you have an Abaddon without a Photic Shield, with a borrowed time, and his teammate was Winter's Curse activated on P God, and P God is dead. And now Bombardil gets assaulted in there. Now here comes Kiradora as a sort of counterattack. This could be the sort of counterplay needed. The Torrent is activated in there. Hex activated on the side of Wingblade. Oh, exchange of blows and Adex slowing down Kiradora. Not strong enough, especially with that Curse of Avernus at its absolute peak. Wingblade next on the list as well. A Jodlo forced to retreat. I mean, of course, if you look at the sort of Wise Monkey approach, they back in, back out. But then the problem is they couldn't go further forward because of the fact that the right-click damage of Vanguard is just really devastating. I mean, this Abaddon, my goodness. Even as a Crimson Guard, no wonder why his teammates are really, really confident and bolsterous when they charge in further forward. Obviously, the right-click damage of Wise Monkeys is not really enough, though. And with that limited right-click damage, and with that Crimson Guard activated, then obviously you could say, okay, you just unleash all your magical damage, but it's not going to do any dividends, especially when we have the sort of countermeasure. And of course, it makes sense to go for Crimson Guard, especially when you're dealing with a Winter Wyvern and a Winter's Curse. You want to reduce his physical damage, no doubt about that. Now Wingblade turned into a chicken. Dazed opt in. Oh dear. Bye there. And now look at this. Wise Monkeys, they're trying to go for a desperate approach. The tier 2 tower is going to be under siege. Will it be enough though? With this sort of, ruthless aggression by Vanguards. And remember, this is a best of 1 series. So if Vanguards wins and they go to the next round, definitely not yet the close qualifiers, but they're going to go to the next round en route to the close qualifiers. Yeah, this, I like the pick there by Adex. He opted for the Dominator, which is actually helping them, get some additional plays. And look at that by the Terrorblade. He's just pushing everyone through the back lines, and they couldn't even go on the offensive. Reality, I like the fact that he's using his Conjure images to make things more nightmares. Says Hajaldo is dead. Oh, he's dead. It was easy there on the Terrorblade. Reality is just absolutely astonishing out of this moment. I mean, ironically, he's not the leader in terms of last kills and deaths, but so far he's doing a pretty good job spacing for the team. Now the tier 2 tower is under siege as well. And if you're a Wise Monkeys, let's see what you can do. You have an Echo Saber and the Tiny. Really good item. But if you look at it, the Tiny doesn't have some, he could initiate team plays well. Now your Void doesn't really have a lot of right-click options. I mean, yeah, you do have the Maelstrom and you have the Battle Fury. It's not going to be enough. Especially when you have this Abaddon with that Crimson Guard. And then obviously you have the Shadow Fiend, who could just, dodge out anytime soon. Although, of course, he has, that Aphotic Shield as well. As right now, Bombardil slowed down. Yeah, even that early... Oh, look at this. Wingblade with 2 caught in the Chronosphere. Might get a kill and rise, but of course he gets turned to a chicken to keep himself alive. But he gets caught in there by the snowball by Deus. Clutch there by Deus. So I think that's sort of distraction there by Vanguards to give space for their cores. A8X and P God. They're trying everything to push through the top lane. Actually, they did. They were able to push through. Now it's all up to the tier 3 tower here in the mid lane. If it could withstand this sort of assault on the side of Vanguards, Wow, he's going to go for an Aghanim Scepter here. Abaddon? Yeah, that gives him more time to survive with that, borrowed time. Combine it with the Aghanim Scepter. CP got item list. Yeah, he's going to go for escape items first. See, Wingblade. Yeah, he does need Lincoln Sphere. Although the thing is, if he's going to go for Lincoln Sphere, then he's going to be very defensive. I mean, you do need more right-click damage, but it's understandable why he opted for a Lincoln Sphere, because the fact that he's easily getting shredded apart. Just look at that. I mean, the images are just killing Wingblade. I mean, it's not really good that your hard carries are forced to go on defensive items. Although, to be honest, I kind of think that Wise Monkeys should actually go for a legitimate hard carry hero. As right now, Kira Daughter gets caught, but manages to survive, like a legitimate hard carry. You know, something that could really provide some sort of nightmares on the side of Vanguard. Like a Phantom Lancer, although you all know that P-God could easily obliterate a Phantom Lancer with that Dazed potential. Right now you can see an offensive moment. There's a Crimson Guard activated as well as the illusion to make sure that Team Wise Monkeys are forced to go on the retreat as well. And even, of course, the Serpent Wars creating space for the opposition. My goodness, 8X doesn't even care what's happening. He does have this Aphotic Shield. Oh, look, it gets caught. It's Rise with the shackles. But of course, the Snowball to protect his teammates. Will it be enough though? No. Actually, it is enough to go. Oh, it's not enough to keep him alive though, but of course while that's happening, 8X and together with Reality are trying to push through there, but now Reality is caught in there by the Sonic Wave and Wingblade. Will he go down? Yes, he goes down, and that's a huge kill in there. And without that sort of thunder, but here comes P-God. No, he couldn't activate his ultimate because of the Winter's Curse. Oh yeah, now finally he unleashes it, but will it be enough though? He gets caught by the stun in there, forced to use a Yule Scepter to run away. There's a toss. He's forced to die in there now. 8X trying to get a decent amount of kill. Will he run away? He does have the Crimson Guard. No, he doesn't. But this sort of siege creep, yes, it's doing it. The siege creep is doing it. And I like what the siege creep is doing it. Creating the mega creeps. Among all the creatures, it has to be the siege creep. The controlled siege creep there. By the Abaddon. It's an 11k net worth lead. 18-21 to score. I like the fight back from Wise Monkeys. I mean, what Wise Monkeys did there was that they let Vanguards unleash all their arsenal. And when that happened, when Vanguards unleashed all their spells, that's when Wingblade said, okay, no more wards, no more X and Torrent. And what we do is when that Terrorblade advances, we go for the Chronosphere. Oh ho ho! There, Conka to the back lines, but of course Reality as well as a countermeasure. Rise turning someone into a fried chicken. He is fried chicken now. Kiradota trying to run away. His HP is relatively low, and of course without the Faceless Void, you don't have the sort of initiation play. He blinks out of danger, goes for the teleportation scroll. Will it be enough though? Of course it's going to be enough. He has a high ground advantage there, and of course Vanguard does not have wards to spot him. Of course, let's go back what happened here in the mid lane. Yeah, the Vanguards were just unleashing all their spells before forcing Wise Monkeys to go into retreat. And okay, this could be a last stand in there. Reality, Mobile exchanging blows. Here's a Hurricane Pike to keep himself alive. And the X marks the spot, and the Torrent activated. Now Phantom, oh, the offense from Reality is just too much. The right-click damage is too much. The Eye of Scotty's doing it. But the Snowball to keep this teammate alive though. But we'll see, it's going to be enough though. Reality, there's a Walrus Punch activated, but the Sunder in the nick of time. Now here comes the, oh ho ho, the Abaddon is there with Rise, activates his disabling abilities. Oh, of course, the forces Wise Monkeys to go on the buyback. There's the X marks the spot. Who's the ideal target though? Is Bombardil, gets caught there by the Torrent. And now Reality on the offensive on Kira Dota with that sort of advantage, with that sort of item. But here comes Wingblade, caught just everyone there. But will it be enough? Sonic Wave set. Deus trying to keep himself alive. Oh, this is an interesting situation, but of course, this is a distraction there by Vanguard. And now GG, well played. And Wise Monkeys have forced to offer their terms of surrender as this Ancient is destroyed. A good distraction there by Vanguards to make sure that the Serpent Wards and the Creeps are going to take the Ancient. And they've managed to secure this convincing victory, even though it's looking like a rough start. 20k net worth lead, 19-28 is the score. And Vanguards goes through the next round. So, of course, that's the end of this game. So, drop out of the Twitch channel. We'll be back for more action.